recording.
Start the recording. It is started, and we're sure of that?
We're sure that.
We are streaming?
So we have everything.
So we're on. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call a special meeting of the Hancock County Board of Commissioners to order. Today is July the 16th, 2025, and the time is 3 o'clock. This meeting is being recorded and streamed for public viewing. By participating, you acknowledge that your image, voice, and comments may be captured and made publicly available. This meeting has also been properly noticed in accordance with Indiana Code 5-14-1.5. At this time, I would invite all in attendance to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show that a quorum of commissioners is present. We will now proceed with our agenda, which concerns economic development. And the commissioners have a statement to deliver. As many of you know, this board was approached earlier this year to consider incentives and the rezone of a property for a data center. After numerous presentations, public meetings, a site visit, and overall due diligence, it is the view of this board that there are other areas of the county that are zoned for data centers, and we do not believe the proposed site is the right location for this project. We will not be moving forward with incentives or rezoning on this project. Thank you very much. That is the extent of our economic development message. We will now open up to public comment. Is there anybody that would like to give public comment? If so, we just need to see a show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the 4 people, we will offer public comment up to 3 minutes long. When you approach the front, just give your name, and that way we can record who you are. Do we need to give address or anything with where they? But please come forward and speak.
Hi, I'm Julie Saddam. I live on West 200 North. I want to thank you so much for your comment and your statement that you made just a minute ago. I do have one question for you. You said that that area of the county wasn't the right area. Are there other areas that might be earmarked or considered for a data center? And if so, can you let us know where they are in the comprehensive plan?
They're not in the comprehensive plan per se, but there are areas that are already zoned industrial IBP that would allow that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Who's next?
Next.
My name is Mark Ellsbury. Spoke with Jeannie several times, but I just want to put my 2 cents out there that I'm good with not the incentive to be the #1 growing county. I have no comment about the particular project that you're talking about necessarily, but growth in general, I don't think there should be any incentives. I own quite a bit of property, but I think that landowners should have lots of rights, but I don't think any of those rights should be supplemented by the cost of the general public. So anything that you're giving to make that land more valuable, no matter what project it is, even when it's mine, it's not the right thing to do to everybody else, unless it's something that 90% of the people need. It's something that everybody really needs in the community. So I know there's a lot of hype about economic development, and some of it's okay, but don't sell our county out too quick. We've had a beautiful place to live for a long time, lived here my whole life, and I have no desire to see all of it change quickly. And I know there are certain circumstances, if you're trying to settle an estate or something's going on and there's property that has to be sold, you'd love to get the biggest dollar. and I'm good with everybody getting the most they can get. I've talked to Jeannie about the impact fees. Be careful what people give you that they give you now, but you pay for forever. Somebody wants to build you a new road, or somebody wants to, give you something to take care of. Just be real careful about everybody's money you're spending for the rest of eternity, because if you get a new park or you get a new road, you're not going to quit taking care of it. You're going to keep paying for all of those things. And a lot of us live out in an area where we don't want parks. I've talked to Jeannie about that. We talk about the comprehensive plan. I came to 3 or 4 meetings when the comprehensive plan was being drawn up, and they drew the county trail right through my farm. Even when I spoke many times, I don't want a trail through my farm. I don't want a trail through my farm. And it's in there. And they told me, oh, this is 15 or 20 years out. And I said, what will happen is that they're going to refer back to this and say, well, we knew this was coming. We put it in the comprehensive plan, even though no one spoke for it and I spoke against it. So just keep in mind how beautiful place we live and why it is valuable. And we all appreciate certain ways of life. Not everybody likes a crowd. When I get a little older, I may want to move to town. But right now, I like it where I live. So I do appreciate your consideration. I do feel like this board listens. I know that 2 previous boards or 3 previous boards, when all this stuff went on the west side, people would come in and talk, and one of the commissioners told each one of us, I went up and spoke, and he told each one of us, I have 80,000+ people. I'm not going to listen to any one of you. So that's a sad, sad thing. And as I told Jeannie, those people are no longer on the board. They've all been voted off because people did not want to hear those answers. So thank you for your time. I can't imagine the hours you guys spend, so I want to commend you for all that you do and all the crap you listen to from everybody, because I know it happens from both sides. And again, nothing about this project in particular, but in general, as you sell little pieces of our
Time's up.
Time's up. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ellsbury, thank you.
Thank you.
Down because I'm not good at speaking. My name's Julie Robertson. I lived in Spring Lake since 1989. My husband grew up there as a child. His parents did too. We're like 4 or 5 generations here. I am concerned about anywhere in our county having these data centers for a lot of reasons. First of all, too much water is being used, too much electricity is being used. It should not cost us a dime. Those companies are going to be making millions of dollars off of this. They can pay their way if we have them in here. I don't want them in here anyway. I think AI needs to slow down. It's going to be a dangerous technology. It already is. If you get on Facebook, you can't believe anything anymore. And it's just going to get worse. It's a cool technology, but it's dangerous too. There's a lot of secrecy, non-disclosures. There's conflict of interest. I think he's here, sorry, but anybody who is going to benefit with the developer should not be on the board deciding these things. Now he's not only on ours in Shelby, he's now Indiana State. That is conflict of interest. Big. I want you all to know that even if you never put a data center in here, I'm going to be watching. And anybody who votes yes for this, you will not get my vote. What about the rest of you? Not good. I guess that's it. I think I've missed a lot of my stuff because you guys have woke me up with this. I've been kind of, I've been on a couple things, and we've won, thankfully, when we have stood together and let you guys know we don't want something. The sports center is one. The lane diet is another. Stupid things are being done, and they aren't paying attention to what we, the people, I have to pay my taxes. They should have to pay their taxes. Yep. And they should pay for any electricity, and they should pay for any water, and it should not come out of the general public's bills. I can't afford anymore. Everything's being raised on us. I'm on a fixed income. Property taxes were raised. I'm wondering somewhat whether this isn't a preamble because they know this is coming. that they're not going to be paying taxes. Anyway, that's it.
Well, we appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Just to one little, the road diet, that's a state project. That
I
wasn't
understand
ours.
that.
Okay, I just wanted to
understand
make
that.
sure you did, but we do appreciate your
But
comments.
we did band together, and we at least got part of it, at least for a while. And again, so many times these things get snuck in on us, or they change the meetings, hoping that maybe the next time we won't catch it. And, you know, this is not the way the elected officials, at least, were put into office for to do what we want, not what business wants.
Time.
And we need to stop it now, because you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Once it gets in here, technology won't last as long as these abatements, 36-year abatements that the state has said. Technology will be obsolete, and they can just walk away and we get to clean up the mess.
Time.
I don't want it anywhere. I'm thankful to hear that it's not going, you're saying this is not going in against Tuttle's now, right? Thank you for that.
My name is Rebecca Chapman, and I'm a 31-year resident here in Hancock County. We all understand that economic development is important for our county. That's what keeps us growing. But it has to be the right kind of development. That means no data centers whatsoever. They are damaging not only to our environment, but to a community as a whole in terms of health risks. Also, as our county develops, what recourse do we have as residents as these developers come in and willfully and knowingly damage not only the property that they're developing, but the residents and the properties around them? We as residents have none except for to change our votes. And that's not going to fix the problem. So as developers come in, as businesses come in and want to develop a piece of property, it has to be considered not only by you guys as commissioners and as the council as a whole, what is going to be beneficial. We have an electrical warehouse going in that will affect many people off of 350 West. They have changed the topography of that land by 2 or 3 feet, which is going to flood me out. It's going to flood the neighbors to the north of me out, because there's no way that water can get to the 40 to the ditch, or even though they put in drainage for their lot, it's not going to affect anybody else, and it's going to flood us out. So all we're asking as residents of Hancock County, as developers, as businesses come in, consider what damage could be done and be mindful of the damage that they could be doing, because we as residents, once that construction starts or once that business goes in, we have no recourse to stop any damage to our properties. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Wogenstall. My husband and I moved to Hancock County 1 year ago this month. And I actually came here prepared today to discuss the environmental impact. My background is 22 years in environmental engineering, and I left the industry as an environmental technical specialist.
Welcome to Hancock County.
Pardon me?
Welcome to Hancock
Thank
County.
you. We really enjoy it. We really do. And I just wanted to say that my whole point of view is preserving the water that we have here in Hancock County. We have 3 major watersheds here, and I fear that a data center who has historically been known to drill down over 1,000 feet to reach our aquifers can deplete our wells and our city water supplies. It will also have to waste the water that they use with their cooling systems, and that has to go somewhere. And in the mega centers, they can produce millions of gallons a day of waste. And I do know that Greenfield just upgraded their wastewater treatment plant, and it would most definitely have to be upgraded again. So who would pay for that? Who would pay for that? How would we manage that? And how would we replenish our water supply below ground? So I implore you, if this ever comes up again and you are considering it, please hire an independent environmental engineering company, engage Indiana Department of Environmental Management, as well as the Department of Natural Resources Division Water. Get them all engaged to get their studies done to make it more honest. You don't want to rely on the developers, engineers at all, because of course they're going to write it in favor of the project. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And I'll keep my hands on this just in case there's a next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
My name's Bob Krieger. I live here in Hancock County for the past 16 years. One of the things I'm concerned about is these non-disclosure agreements that are common with these data centers, that if this is ever offered by any of the developers, I would recommend that you let that information out to the public prior to signing it, so we would know, because again, they try to keep things hidden with that. Concerned about obviously the production of energy, because most of these plants require backup generators. Usually the one proposal in Fort Wayne required 36 generators with 6,000 gallons of diesel each. And so that was, they declined that project with that. And again, we talked about the water supply. At the last surge development meeting, they talked about citizens' water being able to supply the 1 to 5 million gallons of water a day without tapping into the aquifer here. But I would certainly want some sort of written agreement and a penalty if they do that. Because again, it's, smoke and mirrors, I think, with that. The other thing is the taxes on energy is, we all pay sales tax on our electricity with that, and they'll be exempt from that. And most of the data centers that have gone in, both around the state and around the country, have led to increase in energy bills of about $40 a month for the citizens. And so, again, that's something that I don't think the citizens should support for places like Meta, Google, Amazon that are making billions of dollars. That should be done by them as part of their business. So that's all I have to say. And again, thank you for your decision and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Eddie Hager I'm actually from Marion County, but I appreciate the good roads that you guys provide. Marion County's horrible.
You can't have our highway engineer. He's the best.
Born and raised in Henry County, I've always enjoyed Greenfield. I've always enjoyed the open concept of the fields and the little bit of development that you've done over the years, my lifetime. But I've lived in Marion County now for 10 years. We have fought data centers in corporate America for 10 years over this large development, over cheap land. That's what they're after. The data centers are not here for economic development. They will never serve a single business in Hancock County. They will never serve a single resident in Henry County or Hancock County or even Marion County. They will serve California, New York, Chicago, Florida, Texas. These huge, massive data centers that are being built, you have to ask the question, where's our data been spent for the last 5 years? Where's it been stored? Why do we need these now? Indiana is facing 16 data centers proposed this year alone, most of them over 500 acres, all because of the state of Indiana thought that it was economically feasible to offer them tax abatements. Now, when I'm talking tax abatements, I'm sure all of you are familiar with Meta, Google. They're all billionaires, billions, and billions of dollars. They're asking the state of Indiana for millions of dollars in sales tax abatement, property tax abatement, development tax abatement, turning Indiana into the cheap land of the United States. So I would implore you guys to really consider, when it comes to the development, that data centers are not the answer for that knee-jerk response for someone that wants to sell that second or third generation inherited farm. Send out the message that we value our land, we value our water, we value our air more than we value the next knee-jerk reaction or the next money dollar in the pocket. Send out that message now, because if not, you are going to be inundated like Marion County is being inundated right now. We have fought and fought and fought the data centers, and we just are a deaf ear. We're just hitting a deaf ear. And we're up against multi-billion-dollar industry. We don't have the technology, we don't have the manpower, nor do we have the time. But you guys are the gatekeeper. So I would implore you to be a good gatekeeper, listen to your constituents that are back here behind me, and fight for what you have. Don't fight for what might be out there and promised by a multi-billion-dollar industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name's Jill Jones, board, and I'm thankful for the meeting here this afternoon. And I just felt it was important to really, you're aware that you were all served a cease and desist notice several weeks ago from a multitude of people here in Hancock County and just people in general. And so I wanted to just share a little bit of this. I know I probably would be cut off because you're watching my 3-minute time.
We've watched everybody's time so far.
Right, I realize, but there's nowhere in our Constitution where you should limit the speech of the people. So 3-minute, 5-minute, whatever it
While
be.
you
I know I'm
discuss your
still on the
time,
clock.
we
So
do
what I want to
have
share,
rules and
please,
procedures.
is I'm just one of the people, as seen in our Indiana Constitution. And I want to bring the law forward primarily for these wonderful people behind me, because this notice, I don't know if it fell on actually ears that were listening, because we did not get assurance that this is a cease and desist for these data centers. I'm just going to highlight a few things in this notice that the people brought forward, but as we see the law in the Indiana Constitution in our Article 1, Section 1, it's our inherent rights. And this is very important for the people to understand. It says, we declare that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that all power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are and of right ought to be founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and well-being. For the advancement of these rights, or these ends rather, the people have at all times an indefeasible right to alter and reform their government. Another law piece that I want to bring forward is the maxim of law. These are universally accepted maxims. And this one is says the main object of government is the protection and preservation of personal rights, private property, and public liberties, and upholding the law of God. Another one that we've done here today that I want to bring forward, we've assembled as the people. And here in our Indiana Constitution, Article 1, Section 31, it's the right of assemblage and petition. And that's what the people are doing here today. No law shall restrain any of the inhabitants of the state from assembling together in a peaceable manner to consult for their common good, nor from instructing their representatives, nor from applying to the General Assembly for redress of grievances. And another piece here in the law that I want to mention is the right of every individual to the possession and control of his own person, free from all restraint or interference of others. And lastly, I'm going to close with just what the cease and desist said. We did a wish, order, and demand that we, the people, as the trust protectors of both constitutions, secure the community against danger of maladministration. Okay, and so I will close, because if there's any others behind me, I want to give them opportunity. But if any of the people wish to see this, I'd be glad to share it with them. Thank you.
Put this all the way down. Hi, Mr. Benke. It's like this big. Hi, I apologize if I repeat anything that's already been brought up, but a few questions I had. Of course, if this company receives an abatement, what promise do we have that they won't leave the county as soon as that's up? We've seen that happen. what promises do we have? What guarantees do we have that they will honor their promises? Because we've seen situations where these are not honored, especially when we're dealing with multi-million, billion-dollar companies. We're the little guys. We got to be careful who we let in and what we let in. Curious about the impact of the construction traffic if something like this were to take place when we have Amplify Hancock on the docket, multiple other projects on the docket. And as we know, that area is already a mess and has been stated so. Even though they're doing the best they can, but even Gary Poole on 300 North, he referred to that area as an anomaly. So until we've got that figured out, nothing new should be going in. And then I know that it has been cited, it could be a relief when they put in the interchange at 70, but when's that happening versus this construction? So I have a lot of concerns about an already congested area and bringing this type of thing in.
The interchange is a 2031 set on NDOT's schedule, just to let you know.
Okay. And then I guess if this ends up not requiring an abatement, because as has been mentioned, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They don't need our money, as has been stated, so they can go ahead and go without the abatement. And that's the scariest part, is that they don't need counsel. So if it's up to you guys to rezone, I pray that you will be the voice of reason. You all are our last hope, our Obi-Wan Kenobis, if you will. So please, take that very seriously. Take what's being said here into account, because we've been right before. And I'm starting to see abatements being turned down and these warehouses being turned down, citing the reasons that we gave in 2022 when the last of them was approved, and nothing has changed since then. But now we're aware that residents' quality of life, construction, all of that, drained resources, all of that is an issue and has been, and we've called it. We called it, and I know it was a previous administration, but now you're here, and you are, again, our hope. So please, please bear that in mind. We've been right before, and we're right this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
My name's Pamela Bennett, and I actually just had questions for you guys and one statement. My questions regarding water use, electricity use, and sound issues. Now, we know that the big corporations are going to come with their studies. Those are always going to support you. Pay enough money, you can get the results from a study that you want. But what about us? Do we do our studies to make sure that we won't have water issues, electricity issues, or sound issues? And if so, let's say we do our study and it works out okay, we let them in. And the amount that they said of electricity and water use wasn't right. Do we have penalties for them if they use more than they said, and we did our studies based upon their data? Because we don't have data. They have to give us their data. So we need penalties if we let something like this in, if they go over. Another thing is, they were going to say, I was trying to figure out what the benefit to our county is to have this thing here. It doesn't make it a nicer community. It doesn't make it a more livable community. What is the benefit to us? The 50 jobs? Is there any guarantee that they won't bring in 50 of their own employees from somebody else? It's still a new job. They could bring in their own employees. It could easily be 50 new jobs for somebody they already employed. So it could have zero economic benefit to us. The last thing I wanted to say is, I know some other counties have signed non-disclosure agreements with these data centers when they come in. I think that's a huge conflict of interest, because you guys, you represent us. The second you sign agreement with them saying you won't tell us what they're doing, you're on the wrong side. You're representing them then. You've changed who you represent once you do a non-disclosure. You know, you should be open with us, the people. You represent us, the people. You should be open and let us know everything. So if they come in and they demand a non-disclosure and you sign it, you're now representing them. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Yes.
Pam, I just wanted to respond to the non-disclosure. And this is my own personal feeling toward non-disclosures, and I've said this many times. Do I like it? No, not really. But if I sign that non-disclosure, I'm going to be at the table with the big guys from the minute that project comes into fruition so that I can protect my constituents. I don't want to find out about it 6 months after
But you're
it's
hiding information from your constituents.
Not really. No,
Well,
we don't always have all the information to hide. And I think a lot of people think it's a big conspiracy theory, and it's not. We're good people up here. We want to do the right thing for the people that put us in office.
But I just wanted to point out that once you sign an agreement with them to protect their secrets, you're on their side.
We're not protecting their secrets, we're protecting you. And I'm sorry, we may disagree on that, but that's how I personally feel.
I understand.
Okay,
But
thank you.
I seriously think as a governing body, you signing a non-disclosure against us would be a conflict of interest, and I think, we could have the courts decide.
That's fine, and I appreciate your opinion completely, and thank you for sharing it and listening to how I feel about it too.
Oh, no problem. And I do want to say, I thank you for not letting this project go through. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
There's George.
I'd wait to last. My name is George Langston. And for the people that don't know me, I'm the one that sits in this room almost every time there's a meeting. And I see, in my opinion, where the county has got economic development a little bit too far ahead of themselves because they have forgot about the infrastructure costs. The TIFs taking away funding from the schools, from public safety Lowit, from the fire departments. Out there right now, the fire department needs another fire station. They need fire trucks, and they need personnel. And we need to slow down. We got to get a handle on that. Instead of making more TIFs, instead of giving tax abatements that take away from paying for some of this stuff, when these things go in, we need to make sure that they put the infrastructure in and they make sure there's enough funding for fire and police and roads and water and sewers. Earlier this year, I made a pitch to this commission about another water treatment plant that has been neglected since the early 70s. There needs to be a water treatment plant out at Charlottesville to take care of the E. coli problem out there that's going dumped into Blue River. And it's been there since early mid 70s. They tried to do something back in 90s, but when they ran into a roadblock, they just threw their hands up and said, oh, well. And so we don't have the funding to put that out there. So we got that problem, we got this problem, we got that problem, and everybody in Hancock County has to pay for it. We need to slow down, and we need to come pick it. Slow our property taxes down. I've been raising the devil about that for years and stuff. And we need to take control of our county and not let the state or some board that the state's put up there come in and run our show. And I do appreciate you guys. I know you listen to us. And I do appreciate you allowing us to speak up here, because you're the only board County council won't let you speak. It's been a big problem of mine, and with Ms. Jones, I think she's right in that aspect. The county council should let the public speak because they represent all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
George, we agree with you, by the way.
That's on the record too, so
Yes.
that's.
Oh, Lord.
I'm Cheryl Cokerd. I live at 600 North and 200 West, and I'm thankful the data center is not going out near Tuttle's. My question would be regarding the interchange that's going to go in at 2030, and I only bring it up because it was brought up in the meeting. But I've heard rumors that that interchange will go on 200 West, probably where the current construction, like concrete and all that's getting moved around. And then I was told this week, just in passing by people that seem to be in touch with the county, that they would like to increase 200 West from a 2-lane road to a 4-lane road, but that Mohawk would be an issue because of the houses that sit so close to Mohawk Road, and that they would invariably be taking it down to 300 North to 300 West, and then somehow back to 200 West, which again, this is just hearsay and rumor, but I was wondering if that should be something that would come to the future. Wouldn't it make more sense to put that interchange, and IDOT might already have everything sealed up, but at 400 West? Because when you come off 400 West, you're coming straight into those warehouse areas anyway. And the PUD is still, even though the data center in that 750 acres or whatever, I'm assuming the PUD is still on the table.
You have to ask for a planned unit development when you go to zoning anytime. It's just not something that is done automatically. So that can be done, or the person who gets some zoning could do whatever they need to within the zoning requirements. So those are, yeah. As far as the road really, the interchanges are equidistant from Mount Comfort Road
And
to
yes, they
State
make
Road 9.
sense.
And that part makes sense.
Yes.
As far as the road up through Mohawk, no one has, that has not been really discussed yet, other than I do believe there's a part of that that is considered where we're going to try to go around the town to alleviate any kind of issue on the town of Mohawk, directly. But 4-lane, 2-lane, 6-lane, nothing.
Yeah, I think the fear that the rumors are starting to have is that we know that the Mount Comfort corridor years ago was looked at and it has now come into fruition. So I think the doomsdayers, let's just say, see that happening because we do have the school system at one end and the interchange at the other end. So that was just my concern, that would not be developed in that area, and the concern of the traffic that would be coming off that interchange through Mohawk. Because even though you may have posted speed limits of 30 or whatever, we all know that not everybody observes those.
Right. Well, a couple of those traffic issues that have not come to fruition in my lifetime have been an extra loop like 465 around Indianapolis that was going to end up on our 650 East and through some people's front yards, and then an extension of I-69 to I-65, which would have come down 200 West. So that's what a lot of that is, just speculation, conjecture, hearsay, like you said. But right now, yes, the interchange is going to come 2031. No discussion on what that looks like through Mohawk that I've seen on any kind of drawing board yet.
Okay.
But hopefully to avoid and alleviate any big traffic coming through town.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Last name again.
COCHARD.
Any other comment? Can I?
My name's Donna Leota. We moved to Greenfield 4 years ago. It's been the greatest town to live in. We love it here. And we want to keep it the way it is. I'm retired technology, and my concerns about the data centers here are really that they don't provide that many jobs. They don't need many people in the building. They need them remote. They could be in Japan, they could be in the United States, they could be anywhere. Most of the employees in these data centers are remote employees. I've worked with the data centers for my entire career. So that was a concern for me. The other concern for me was the meeting that they held. Every question that we asked, or that was asked, well, we don't have a customer yet, but when we know who the customer will be, we'll do a study. But approve the PUD now. And I think we need to hold strong as a community and as a commission and have the customer first so you can do the study first and do our own study and make sure that the things that are supposed to protect the environment will work and are correct, and that there is enough water. I mean, the water guy said, well, by law, we have to provide you with enough water. Well, okay, how many plants and wells and things does the community have to pay for in order to give you the ability by law to do that? And what's the cost of that? Well, we don't have a customer yet, so we can't do the study. We can't tell you yet. That, to me, that was very shady. And the board needs to hold strong and make sure you know who the customer is before we build another spec building for something that we can't protect against.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We adjourn our special meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you all
Thank you for coming out.